Hello, everybody. My name is Andrea Mayawel Garza. Welcome to Indigenous Cooking as part of the NACA Fall 2020 virtual programming. I'm very excited and thankful, and I want to just start by thanking NACA for recruiting me to participate in this 8-week program. I want to start with sharing a little bit about myself. I am of Azteca Chichimeca descent and have 3 generations of ceremonial Aztec dancers in my family. I have 3 children, and I own a catering business called Mayawel Catering. Mayawel Catering specializes in cultural decolonized food. We believe in food justice, and we promote local organic foods. We've been working with NACA for a long time, catering different events and providing food at different times throughout the year. So I'm excited to now be participating in this virtual program. I appreciate the space to share some recipes with all of you and explore Indigenous cooking together. This is the first of 8 classes we'll be sharing together, and the theme for today is honoring roots, personal history, and traditions. I love to hear about families' recipes and how people relate to history and traditions through food. When I think about what that means for me, I think about the importance of corn. Corn has been a staple ingredient across many cultures and traditions and has sustained our ancestors for thousands of years. We'll be talking about a lot of different native ingredients throughout these 8 classes, but today we'll be starting with corn. Before we get started, I want to share with you guys just a little bit about the beginning of corn amongst the Azteca people, as told in our ancient codices. And our ancient codices are writings left to us by our ancestors. Our stories tell us about the first people created by the ancient ones and how a tiny red ant brought a kernel of corn, and this was the first food to feed our people at the beginning of time. I'm going to play you guys a very short clip from a video that you can find on YouTube called The 5 Sons, A Sacred History of Mexico. And this clip shows the story that I'm talking about.
Precious serpent will find the food.
Look, he sees something already.
Aha! Oh, little one who carries things. Where did you get that kernel of corn? Oh, hard-working one, tell me, where did you steal that piece of corn?
I do not steal.
If you are honest, tell me, where did you find it?
Why should I tell you?
The new humans are hungry. Please.
Far, far away, there is a mountain filled with seeds.
Please take me, little one.
No.
Please.
No.
Please take me, little one.
No, no, no.
Take me!
No, no, no.
I'm sorry. Please, take me, little one.
Okay, follow me.
She will take him to the sacred mountain, filled with amaranth, chia, beans, and corn.
Oh, I like it.
It could be eaten with every meal, don't you think?
Oh, yes, I do.
This is the divine word. Corn will be the food of all humans.
The story goes on to say how they harvested all colors of the corn. If you want to watch more of these stories, you can find the link in the description. As we begin to explore what it means to decolonize our diets and we begin to talk about corn and recipes that include corn, I'd like to begin with sharing about Nista Mal. For those of you who have never heard of Nista Mal or may not know what that means, we'll do a quick breakdown before we move on to our actual cooking recipes for the day. Nista Mal comes from the Nahuatl word Nistamali, and Nahuatl is the language of my people, and Nistamali means unformed corn dough. In order for our body to digest corn properly and receive all of the healthy nutrients within the corn, it has to go through a process known as nixtamalization. Nixtamalization means soaking and boiling the corn in an alkaline solution, meaning some form of calcium hydrate, such as lime or cal or even wood ash. When the corn goes through this process, it makes it easier to remove the outer layers of the skin off of the corn. And once you do that, is what makes it easily digestible, and it also makes it easier to grind into a flour form, which then can be used to make masa for tortillas, tamales, tlacoyos, and so many more dishes. To grind the corn, you can use a metate. That's the way our ancestors did it. A metate is a grinding stone made out of volcanic rock. It's out of one big piece of volcanic rock. And with a metate, you can grind the corn, you can grind chile, spices, beans, herbs, nuts, pretty much anything. Nowadays, in modern times, you can use a corn grinder or even a food processor to grind your corn to make your flour or your cornmeal after you have nixtamalized your corn. To make posole, for example, you would just skip the grinding process and you would simply boil the nixtamal to make your posole, which we'll be going through next. Reclaiming this ancient practice of the nixtamalization of corn is a great way to honor our roots and reconnect with history and traditions. As much as I love to promote eating non-GMO locally grown nixtamalized corn, I know that isn't always accessible or isn't always easy for families to do so. Maybe all you have is canned hominy, and that's okay. The important part is knowing and recognizing, and it is still a great way to honor roots and history and tradition. Today we are going to cook nistamal and use it for two different dishes. Today's Friday, and I want to take advantage of making a big pot of hominy and use it to make two different meals for myself and my family to enjoy throughout the weekend. Now, if I was making just one dish, say I was making just pozole today, then this recipe would be completely different, and I would be cooking it differently. But since I'm going to use this to make two different dishes, then we're going to go with the recipe that we're working with today. Who doesn't love pozole? Everybody loves pozole, and there are so many different ways to make pozole. You can make red or green pozole using a variety of different chiles. You can use any kind of meat, or you can make it vegetarian. There are so many great recipes for pozole. My family loves pozole. It's definitely a favorite dish for my kids. So something to keep in mind about cooking, even when talking about decolonizing our diets, is to use what you have on hand, what you have in your community, what you have access to. So today and throughout this video, I'll be working with ingredients that I had on hand and I needed to get used up. So the ingredients for our first recipe are 4 cups of dried pozole, 8 cups water, 8 cups broth, any kind of broth, 1 small yellow onion, 4 cloves of garlic, half a cup of fresh roasted hot green chile. If your green chile is mild, you can use more than that. 2 bay leaves, 2 tablespoons of oregano, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, 1 dash of salt. Today I'm using some Zuni salt that was recently gifted to me. And our last ingredient, 1 or 2 chile de árbol. If you're starting with your dried pozole, you'll want to soak your pozole for at least 1 hour or as much as overnight. Always pay attention to what you're using. Sometimes they sell pre-cooked dried pozole, which requires less soaking or cooking time. You can use any kind of pozole you have, whether it's canned, frozen, dried. You just need to pay attention to the cooking instructions for whatever kind of pozole you choose to use. Today I'm using a white corn dried Nista Mal or pozole, so I will need to soak it. Once my pozole has been soaked, I will need to drain and rinse it. At that point, or whenever you are ready to begin, and you have drained and rinsed your soaked pozole, pour your pozole into a big pot and fill it with broth or water. Add your ingredients and all of your spices, and then boil it until your corn begins to pop. It should take about anywhere between 1 and 4 hours, depending on how long you soaked your corn. As your pozole is boiling, you'll pretty soon begin to smell the delicious smell of the corn. Just continue to check on your pozole and look for the kernels to begin to pop. Once your corn has popped and floured, your hominy is ready. And so we are now ready to begin making our next 2 dishes. We'll start by setting aside 2 cups of cooked hominy for later. We'll use the rest for our big pot of green chile chicken pozole. Our pozole is ready to go, so all I need to do is add my shredded chicken and adjust the spice or flavor if needed. Feel free to add more fresh onion and garlic or more spices. You can even add additional broth or water if necessary. I don't have any fresh broth, so today I'm using this organic chicken stock from Costco. Sometimes the Nista Mal can get a little thick, and it helps to make sure you have sufficient broth or water. At this point, you can add any meat of your choice or substitute the meat and use mushrooms instead for a delicious green chili vegetarian pozole. You're now ready to serve your pozole. You can garnish with shredded cabbage, radish, cilantro, and always a squeeze of lime. You can serve with some oven bread or tortillas or tostadas. And you're ready to enjoy a nice hot spicy bowl of green chili chicken pozole. For our next recipe, we'll be making a Three Sisters bowl with hominy beans and squash. This dish can be enjoyed both cold or hot. The ingredients we'll be needing are 2 cups of cooked hominy, 2 cups of cooked beans of your choice, 3 calabazas, 4 mushrooms, 1/2 bell pepper, 1 jalapeno, 1/2 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 tomatoes, spices or fresh herbs of your choice, and also 1 pound of ground elk, or you can use any kind of ground meat that you may have. Or if you're a vegetarian, you can just leave out the elk meat. For the spices, I'm going to be using garlic powder, Zuni salt, oregano, and thyme. The thyme really gives it a great flavor, and it's also an antiviral. And the thyme that I'm using today came from Tewa Women United up north. And I always like to recognize where my food or ingredients come from. So thank you for that. To get started with this recipe, you'll slice up your veggies and preheat your pan. You're going to saute your veggies using water or an oil such as avocado oil or sunflower oil. Then you'll add your spices, your hominy, your beans, and you'll stir everything together. At the same time, brown your ground elk meat, and then add your onion, garlic, tomato, and spices. Once your elk meat is ready, all you have to do now is mix everything together and you're ready to enjoy a tasty bowl of Three Sisters goodness. My family really liked this meal. I was hoping for leftovers, but they ate it all up in no time. For our final recipe of the day, we'll need something delicious to drink to accompany all of these great meals. So we're going to make an agua de sandia, which is a drink made from fresh watermelon. The ingredients for this recipe are 1/2 of a watermelon, 1 liter of water, and as an optional ingredient, you can use any kind of sweetener of your choice. All you need to do is slice up your watermelon, throw it in the blender, and add a little bit of water. Blend it until nice and smooth, and then serve as is. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for allowing me to share a little bit about my roots in relation to corn. I hope you enjoyed these recipes, and I hope you're able to try them out at home with your families. Please leave us a comment and let us know if you like the recipes or if you would like to share a corn story of your own. Also, please be on the lookout for next week's class starting Friday at 4 p.m. As we close out this class, please take some time to think about what foods remind you of your roots and what dishes you would like to eat to honor your history or traditions. Thank you so much and have a great weekend. Tlazokamati.
Sokamati mikan tlalikano yolo teshiwa recta shiwa dikano yolo mikan tlalikano yo